Just in 2 minutes we'll be here.
All right. Okay. 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 Good afternoon, Vusumusi. My name is Tendai Pilatwe, and this is my first ever podcast. This is my very first ever podcast, and I'm not very experienced, so please bear with me.
No, it's
So
okay.
I
Yes,
do have a little bit of experience, but I think because I don't know your journey, it's going to be a free flow interview
sure.
whereby I'm going to give you guys time to speak, and then when you stop speaking, then I'll speak. You know, that kind of interaction. Hi, Thando.
Hi.
Yes, all right. Yes, thank you so much, and welcome back to Zimbabwe.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be back home.
Wow, after 2 years, how many years? It's two years, right?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
2 years, 22 countries, 21,000 kilometers.
Yes.
What were your thoughts, your very first thoughts when you arrived at Robert Gabriel Mugabe Airport a few days ago?
Well, we were very excited, of course, that we are coming back home. But personally, on my side, I'm experiencing a travel bug. So yeah. So it's
Could you
a bittersweet
explain that?
situation.
What does that mean?
Oh well, so for the past 2 years, as you can recall with us, we've been traveling nonstop. The longest we've stayed in a country, I guess it was about 2 months, yeah, in one country. So we are not used to spending a lot of time in one country being stationed. So now that we are coming back home, knowing exactly that this is the end of our cycling journey, thinking of all the experience because we've become so used to survival mode. Okay, after this little challenge, we are used to facing challenges like the logistic part of it, the bureaucracy, you name it. So now that we are back home, just like back to the normal where we started, man, like where you left about 12 years ago. So now you come to think of all the memories. So feel like
You
so I'm
you were
going to
actually
compress everything into one. Yeah.
wow. You were in SA before, right?
Ye- Yes.
So I think Zim is actually quite new. So it's a new place for you, actually.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, we will try to adapt also. So it's gonna be a lot of challenges like this also.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I do understand exactly what you mean. And when you say you have a travel bug, it's yeah, that way of life that you were used to, isn't it? It's like it's now sort of come to an end, and it's a new chapter. So that's really really interesting. And change is not always a comfortable thing when you have to change, but that's the most consistent thing. We all have to kind of adapt to change and stuff.
Yeah.
So what would you say the biggest lesson, looking back, at the journey? What is that lesson Africa has taught you? That growing up from Gokwe, you never knew at all, or growing up from Kai. Am I correct, Kai?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, yes. But experience in Africa. What has Africa taught you guys?
Okay, I'll start. For me, um, when I was growing up and when I was older, I had this thing of being personal about everything. My mom, my friends, my everything. Like I would not care. I didn't care about other people. I only cared about people who were so close to me. Because like yeah, just like that. So, when I started traveling, and then I realized that people are so kind out there. People are so open. People have got good hearts. So I think I've learned to be open. I've learned to have a good, and I've learned to accommodate everyone. Not even around me, not even only my family, but even strangers. So I've learned to accommodate them, to love them. And even now, when someone comes and passes and say, I don't have a place to sleep, I will never allow that person to sleep outside. I will make sure that I accommodate and host that person, because we've been hosted in Africa and people have been so lovely to us. Like, we don't have any experience to say, we did this in somewhere in Africa or in Nigeria. We asked for a place to sleep and then someone said, no, pass, no, we don't have that. Everyone was being open and welcoming. So I think for me, I've learned to be welcoming, just like that.
Yes, and yourself?
Yeah, that's there's quite a lot of things that we have learned on this journey. For me, just to add on what you said, just treating people with kindness, the way you talk to people. I think there was a time I used to tell myself I was born again, but now I really feel I'm really born again after traveling this, because I really understand what it means to be a foreigner in a foreign country. And if I see one, I really understand what is it that they actually need. And so likewise a stranger. But most importantly, since we decided to focus on sustainable tourism, it's hard for me today to go into a big establishment and buy a simple thing that I can get on the street. Because I understand that the old lady who is selling on the street, they need that, and they're even selling it for a cheaper. And when I go there, I don't bargain. I understand, Vero, because if I go to I go to ShopRite, I don't even bargain. There's no room. But when I'm on the street, I'm there trying to bargain. So it's one of those things that I've learned, particularly if you are in countries such as Nigeria, where markets are big, they save livelihoods. They are the everyday transactions. That's where they get their food. So you really understand, if I have to not to buy from here, then who is going to buy from here? You understand? So that's the other aspect. But then we also there's something I've learned not to complain about where we come from. I'm now content that I'm a Zimbabwean, and I've accepted that
Much better.
as much as Zimbabwe is not a great country, but there are some things we do much better than any other countries.
Wow. In response to you, Thando, where you mentioned that everybody opened doors for you, is there any sort of situations where doors were closed in your face and
Yeah.
you were not welcomed, or you felt unsafe?
There were times when we were cycling here in Zimbabwe and we approached this school, and then they told us that the headmaster lives inside that school. So we went to the headmaster to say, no, we are traveling and it's late. It was around 6 or 7. So it's late. Can we camp outside your yard, And then she was like, nope, you can go to the police. It's just close by. And then we're like, it's late. We're like, no, I can't. Just go. And then when we tried to locate the police, it was far, way too far. We didn't even
Just
reach.
about 20
It was
kilometers
about
away.
20 kilometers, and that time it's late. So, yeah, it was really hard.
Riley the cycler also experienced something similar to that as well in Zim. And also just in response to what you're saying, Vusu, when you say that you've learned to buy from the market woman selling tomatoes, it's something that we've almost been, I think, brainwashed to think that a country is doing well if it has got skyscrapers and shopping malls and Pick and Pay, and that's where you should be buying. But I had a mindset change when I also realized that, those sort of growth point shops, like Gracious Barber Shop or Marvelous Bakery. It's empowerment. That bakery, so I travel to a few countries, and I thought that, success, especially here in the West, success is because we buy everything from one giant supermarket called Asda. Everything from a toothpick to, it sells everything. I think it sells even a car. So there's not much opportunities. So it's not even allowed. And it made me realize freedoms or in democracy, because we think maybe the West has got more democracy, they are more free. I'm starting to realize that Africa is even more free, because a woman can wake up tomorrow and put her potatoes in a corner of a street. Here in the UK, you need to pay £200. You need tax. You first of all need a license, and the system will make sure if you don't do that, you are penalized very strictly. It is, the state has CCTV, so whatever is against the law, it's, so you don't find walkers walking in the street. So I'm coming now to realize that Africa actually does have a lot of freedom, a lot of that freedom, although it's slowly being taken away. So I sort of agree with exactly what you're saying, that if you're buying, you're shopping from Pick and Pay, that money is overpriced, because they have to pay for their parking, their building, their staff, their everything. But this lady has taken it from a farm, and you have empowered. So we don't really need foreign investors. Those people are our investors. And so I just wanted to mention that. So moving forward to the people in Africa, you met very different cultures and communities. Which culture or which community or country would you say that you encountered with that is most memorable for the rest of your life?
Okay. For me, one of those that are ever going to stay with me, there's probably two mainly, which is the Maasai people and the Ovahimba of Namibia. Yeah,
All right.
those will always, but the Himba people, the Himba tribe, will always stay with me for the rest of my life. And this Wahimba, it's said that we only know about the Wahimbas in Namibia, and yet there is also Wahimba in Angola. So both of them, they, yeah.
And what made them to have that impact? What encounter did you have with them that stayed with you?
Okay, this can be a very controversial for a lot of people. But according to Wahimba tribe, they believe sending their children to school is selling them off, it's brainwashing them. Uh, well, if people go to school, they will mainly their reasoning is there is LGBT community. It's something that came from colleges, from universities, from the educated people. You've got people say uh, women because they believe in polygamy. So if you refuse to be in polygamy, it's always people who come from school and then the Ovahimba people, they are always looking after their cattle because they believe in so much in livestock. So with educated people, they are now have to abandon their livestock. They have to look for formal jobs, all of that. Uh, they've been always nomads, but it's always educated people who are saying, no, this is now my land. I bought this land, but it has been the land of their ancestors. So all of that, it's taking away their freedom. And it always come with people who are educated. And every aspect of what we call today development or modernization, it's literally killing our identity. So it's 2026 now, finding a tribe that still till today sticks to their core values. For me, it's always going to be something that is always unique. It's really amazing seeing Africans even after uh, neo-colonialism, post-colonialism, they still believe that their way of life is the right way of life.
Wow, wow, that's really amazing. And another community that also still tends to hold on to its culture for so many centuries is the Khoisan.
Yes.
Although they are becoming extinct, I think a lot of them, they've also been what's the word, diluted, or
Yep.
with this whole
Yeah.
Western culture, and and I think the Himba tribe. I thought they just sort of did those ceremonies for tourists. So you mean they actually live like that?
Yes.
It's their way of life. Apart from you being a tourist.
Yeah, they live
Wow.
like that. And also, for me, what I love about the Himba people is how they dress. They don't dress like us, like modern, like this dress. Like they use their animal skin. For women, they don't wear their tops. They go around with their breast outside because their ancestors they were like that, and they
So
don't use panties. Yeah. So I think, in fact, they don't use cotton clothing or anything of sort.
wow.
Yes.
Wow, that's really amazing. I never knew that, and because for a country like Namibia is very westernized. It's very westernized, and I do agree. The Western way of life has not really done Africans much favor. Everything is about being awoke, and awokeness is LGBT, and so I've got to be careful what I say, but awokeness is just gone the wrong way, and it's almost like those who have these rights, so-called rights, and whatever agenda that they are pushing, it's all from the West, and it's very much targeted at Africans. So we've had a few presidents who have said, why are you so particular about ensuring that, for example, gay rights are allowed in countries, whereas you can be focusing on helping us get clean water. So I think there's an agenda, and even here in the West, many people are very affected because it's actually in schools. It's in
Yeah.
the schools where kids, as young as grade one, they are now subtly being changed. It's in the cartoons. Can you believe that? The cartoons that were back in the day, they were just cartoons. Now we talk of there was once an episode, I don't know if you know Peppa Pig.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of, it's everything is sort of like dehumanizing masculinity. So Peppa Pig, Daddy Pig is always seen like, oh, he's stupid, and then Mommy Pig always comes up with a good idea. So there's that agenda. There's even a cartoon where it's Papa Bear and another Papa Bear can stay
Mhm.
together. Can you see the agenda here? A little child is being taught that it's okay for two Papa Bears to have a family. And I really don't know, honestly. And this is the things that are all over the media, and it's not African. But I'm hoping that through this podcast we're going to to make more people awoke and realize that no, this is the wrong agenda, and I'm glad there are some African cultures who are still. I'm actually shocked when you tell me that they walk with their animal skin in this day and age in
Yeah.
Namibia. I'm really amazed. I know in Tanzania there is the Hadzebe tribe,
Yes. Yes.
but I think that the Hadzebe tribe again, it's also become a popularity thing, maybe where tourists will come and then they'll take pictures. You put on your animal skin, then at night you go into your into your house or whatever. I don't know if there's any tribe which is still living in the bush. Would you say there is?
Oh yeah, there is. I would say the Bahimba people and the Mukubao people of Angola. They don't live as in the bush, but every other season they change settlements. They put on temporary settlements. It's just mud and wood. All done. It's those small settlements. The way they build, they're not permanent. They make it easier so that if where that particular place they are, there is no water, they are able to leave and go to a place where there is water. If, for instance, there is wildfires, they are able to move with their animals. They move to a place where there is greener pastures for their livestock. So it's kind of they're pastoralist people. So they still move in search of greener pastures.
That's amazing. That's really amazing. That's that's amazing, and such people need to be protected. You know, that's what UNESCO should be protecting, and yeah, that's really amazing. We were talking about cultures and communities, Thando. Um, which culture for you? I think for Vusi, he said it's the Himba tribe. But for you, which culture are you going to keep in your heart for the rest of your life? And just know that these people, they are something else.
I don't know if the people in Benin. I don't know if it's in voodoo culture. I love how those people. They don't dress. Also, I'm talking about dresses also because dresses also is culture. So they don't wear. You see now I'm wearing
Yes.
this label.
Yeah.
They don't wear labels. They wear their own clothes. They wear their own traditional clothing, like clothing. They sew and then they wear their clothes. And then also they still practice, as we say, it's witchcraft. But for them, uh, it's culture. It's something that their great grandfathers were doing, and they are still doing it. As we believe in police officers, them they believe if they put a doll, they make a doll, they call it a god, they put it there. It will be a police. It will be guiding the place, guarding the place. So they don't need they don't need police. They don't need churches because they've got their own voodoo church where they practice their own traditional things.
Wow. Yes,
Yeah.
I think a lot of the Western teaching as well has taught us to demonize our ancestral habits, and
And
especially
yeah,
in Zim, you find that if you even try to find herbs, to start looking for herbs, people start pointing,
yeah,
she's is a witch doctor, you know.
yeah,
And it's a shame because most people who know this skill, they are now very old, and
yeah.
it's a generation. And I think a lot of it came, and with the colonialists, a lot of
Mhm.
colonialists, they completely brainwashed almost 2 generations. So now we all have a trauma to the extent that if you are not seen in a maybe in a certain religious space, then you are sort of outcasted, and it's a real shame, and it's I don't know if that will ever return because ancestors are just our, I believe ancestors are just our grandparents. They're just grandparents. I believe that personally, that blood is not new. There's no new blood in a person. It's the same one which has been recycled. For example, my own grandmother is the same blood that is running from the generations. So there is nothing new under the sun, you know. And definitely, I also believe that it's nature in the trees. We have to kind of respect the trees, the wind, the rivers. That's where the
Yeah, yeah.
ancestors are.
That's what they do in Benin. They believe in
Mm,
rivers, like they know that this river, you don't fish here, you don't
mm.
bath here because it belongs to the gods. And also they respect pythons because there is a tribe that worship the pythons. You know, they cut their faces with a razor or something. But it's something that their ancestors were doing, their grandparents were doing. So they still practice all those things. So which is something that was amazing.
Did you see the basket that moves by itself? There's a basket which turns. I've seen online. It's like, I don't
Yeah,
know how it works. A spirit goes in it and then it starts dancing.
yeah. There's actually a festival that they do annually. Unfortunately, we missed it. It's every February, of the year. So it's the Voodoo festival where they have dancing spirits. So it's just a basket, as you have said,
Wow.
and then they have to do the whatever the prayers and stuff like that, and they pour some alcohol and other things. So yeah, then the spirits will come and be under that basket thing, and then the spirits will start dancing, start dancing. Yeah,
Wow.
it's really amazing. You think of it and be like, wow, this is our Africa, and yet when it's being portrayed to by the Western people, they say, this is serious voodoo. They say "Butakati lobu," but yet this is culture. Like a lot of wise people, they believe in guns. And what is the role of a gun? Is to kill. But how is a gun not a witchcraft? They invented poisonous products. How is that not a witchcraft?
Yes, I
Yeah.
absolutely agree with you. So now that you guys are back home, I know mom was at the airport, and what does your family think about the journey, the adventure? When you told them, because for somebody like me, I feel like I want to travel, but then I start thinking of one, two, three, four things that I need to do.
They are very proud, and for me on my side, I think it is now that I see and that I realize that they are very proud of what we have achieved so far. And unlike the last time, they feel like they always need to be there for us to support us in whatever situation is out there, be it emotional support being there for us, and it it, it makes me proud and to feel like because well traveling, particularly on a bicycle as an African, you don't have anything that is established yet. People will look at you and be like, you should be doing something else. Particularly the very same people who are likely to say that are the parents. So, but seeing them in a position whereby they are able to leave whatever they are doing and come through for us, it's a blessing.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
we can't believe that at first they were so scared that something might happen to us. But surprisingly now, they are the proudest people
Yeah.
ever.
Wow, wow, that's amazing. And
Yeah.
um and and so what's next? what this chapter is now come to an end of traveling, I believe, or unless you're going to maybe decide on season 4, or so what's next now for Vusu and Thando, and how do you guys, I mean, obviously you've inspired so many Africans, because for me it wasn't even about the cycling. For me, it's about Africans visiting each other, Africans uniting, which is exactly what you did. You did cultural tourism, to be able to, I'm sure some people, when you said I'm from Zimbabwe, you're like, what? Tell us, what is it in Zimbabwe? And some places you saw similarities, right? Can you tell me the similarities you saw that connected you with some countries that you were like, what is happening here? Where am I?
So one thing I'll talk of, these pots mabodwa with three with three legs. They are everywhere. They are everywhere. Everywhere. Like even in Nigeria, you see them. Like
in Ghana, you see them.
You see
Yes.
them. But are they not the ones that you have?
They are not using clay. What are they made of?
No, it's aluminum.
Aluminum, same.
Yeah.
Like, as you can say, like all the way from Zimbabwe to this kind in West, in East,
And yeah. And again, you find a lot of similarities in food. You won't believe in Cameroon they've got sata.
Yeah.
In Nigeria they've sata.
Yeah.
In Ghana they've got sata. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. What about words, names of stuff? What about words?
Okay, so there's the languages that we speak. These are Niger Congo languages, right? So they originated between the people inhabiting the lands that is between Niger River and Congo River. That is where the origin of our language is. But then because of migration that happened long time ago, some people migrated towards the west, some they remained in Central Africa, some towards the south. But the family languages that are in the same family is Southern Africa and Central Africa. So we've got similar words in Cameroon, in Equatorial Guinea, in Gabon, in Central African Republic, Congo, Brazzaville, Congo, Kinshasa. You've got Uganda, Rwanda, Kenya, all the way coming to Southern Africa. So we do have a lot of similar words. We're surprised in one homestead in Gabon. Yeah, so we had a lot of words that are similar, and we're so strong.
In Gabon.
Yes.
Wow. I'm really amazed, because the Bantu people said to have immigrated from, like sort of Western Africa, from Cameroon, coming down. They are said to have came down to the south, and most of the Southern Africa, it was occupied mostly by the Khoisan. And so the Bantu sort of assimilated anybody in their way. Either they were yet to join the Bantu tribe, and it's amazing. It's really amazing, because I was doing a little bit of history, and there are almost 3 types of Black Africans or Black people. There's the Bantu, the Bantu men, the Bantu person. Then there's the I can't really remember what it's called, but it's the African from Ethiopia, the ones that have more curly hair and the straight nose, and then of course North Africa. North
Yeah.
Africa, we had those well, sort of they're Arabs, but they yeah from back in the day. Yeah, so yeah, I'm really amazed how you're saying Africa is one, Africa is loving, because we find that most of the time in the media, we are so much taught to be afraid of each other. We are
Yeah.
afraid of each other, and we are taught it's all the dangers. Like right now, if I go on the news, I know Ebola is got. I mean, there's Ebola in DRC. There is a travel warning. This place, this place, they've they'll give. I mean, all these guns that they manufacture, they are not for you to be used in the West. By the way, the West is manufacturing guns so that it gives to African countries, and we fight each
Yeah.
other properly. So when we fight each other, we displace from an area and they come and loot our minerals.
Right.
So it's always that story, and because of that narrative, so many people are afraid to go to visit. So I've got a question for you guys that about the current situation in South Africa. What are your thoughts about the immigration issue and having sort of like lived there? What is your thoughts on what's happening?
Uh, First and foremost, I personally don't believe South Africa has got an immigration crisis. I think there are economic challenges in South Africa, and personally, I would love to believe that they've got nothing to do with immigrants who are staying in South Africa. However, um, because there's always an agenda behind something, and we all know that the agenda is to divide people, and which is what will always win. And I'm totally against the violence on Africans, considering that we've been so far to 22 countries and how loving and caring Africans are when they see a foreigner. It's it makes me really sad. And I would say this which can be controversial to some other people. We've got great friends from South Africa. We recall one time when we were about to go to Lesotho, we wanted to look for a place to stay. And one guy who happens to be a South African approached and inquired about our journey, and we ended up asking him. And till today is one of the greatest kind people that we have ever met. He was actually one of the few people to show us kindness, and he was a South African. And the other time we ran out of money in Lesotho, he came through and he was like, "You guys have got a long journey. Let me give you this 100 maluti, which is equivalent to 100 rand." Unfortunately, he passed away. But looking at all of that, it's what the media is showing us. It's really sad because it's always the negative stories that get amplified. And when they get amplified, it makes South African angry. It makes a normal South African hate a foreigner. And that creates a lot of tension. So it looks as if it's real that immigrants are causing unemployment, are into crime, are into all sorts of things, right? And the only solution is violence, which is really sad considering how caring and loving Africans are. And I'm telling you, it's something that we didn't want to share. The time we were in Ghana, we speak in the village, me and my wife, when we are together, and you you are in a space whereby a lot of you people recognize you're speaking Eastern. and they would tell us straight away, go back to your country. Now we have to move, go around explaining ourselves. No, we are not South African. We are Zimbabweans. We speak a language that is similar to South Africa, which is very sad. This would definitely happen for a same person from Botswana who speaks Botswana. It will definitely happen from the same person from Eswatini because they speak what? Swat. It it will happen to the same person who comes from Mozambique because they speak Chitangan. And it's really sad. I wish for me the ultimate solution, I wish we could have more and more Africans traveling, particularly South Africans. They would really see Africa the way it is instead of seeing it through the lens of the Western propaganda.
Yeah. Wow, that's really amazing. And it's a shame that you became a victim. And I think even just by looking like a South African, people are going to be called South African when they are not. And I've got a family member who is a South African. And yes, yeah, it's unfortunate because she herself, she has also been bought into that ideology that the reason why things are difficult is because of Africans. And she actually blatantly says it, yeah, that yes, Africans, you people must fix your own countries. And she says it very, very straightforward, and she's been bought into that narrative. So it's I guess it is the way it is. Um, so now that you guys are in Zimbabwe, what are your plans? What are your plans now? Um, you sort of like in terms of working.
Well, Ash, that's a hard question. Remember, over the past few years, 2 years, we've been living like nomads. Yeah, and we're mastered. So this is like a bottom rock. So, but the goal is we don't want to abandon traveling completely, but it's always good that after traveling, you always go to a place where you know what, I'm going to a place where I'm going to relax, a place that I will call my own, a place that I could have this peace, you know. So that's what we really want to establish, but also using the experience, the lessons, how we've seen Africa, and we also want to be in a position whereby we can say, hey, please come to Zimbabwe. And when you come to Zimbabwe, we show you the best of Zimbabwe and we show you the best hospitality Zimbabwe has to offer. So this is what we are looking at right now.
Wow, wow. And so this actually brings me to my question of being the face of cultural villages, because you've met a lot of people, and a lot of people, I'm sure, have said we are coming to Zimbabwe. We want to come to your country as well, and we want to also, pay you a visit. And so, yeah, I would like you guys to be official cultural villages ambassadors, whereby, those communities that visit us, you can know that their accommodation is sorted, it is sorted out, and, you'd be just giving them the cultural exhibition, showing them, if it is in Wange, there's a national park. There's a national park there, there's Victoria Falls there, just welcoming visitors, just sort of welcoming visitors, having so the center is already there. I know you guys are also planning to start one in Gokwe, but I always know there's center already in Wange, there's a center in Shashe Bridge, Botswana, very close to Francistown. very close to Francistown. There's a center as well there that is actually ready for those villagers, so that we continue that exchange program of one villager coming to visit a community, and we will not be putting them in a 5-star hotel. We want to put them in huts, and we want them to experience our tradition, the Nambia. In Wange, they are Nambian people. Even some Zimbabweans don't even know that they are Nambians, and there's a language called Chinambia, and they are very proud of their culture. They are very proud of their heritage. So I guess it's going to be sort of a lesson from your journey, and I hope that you will continue to experience a lot with you guys, whereby even you can do riding challenges, cycle with VusuThando, 5-day cycling tour. Let's cycle from Vic Falls to Wange. Just some people, maybe they can just do 5 days, or they can do a 2-day cycle journey. So all those cycling tours, we want to sort of see them advertised coming up, especially in Zimbabwe, Botswana as well. And also I think communities riding bicycles. Because one thing I've noticed about Africa in general is that our diversity is what was our weakness, because we are so different. For example, if you see a country like Nigeria, they speak, I think, 400. There'll be like 400 official languages, 400 different languages, and some tribes will be so different, and we are very, very diverse. And this is what makes us Africans to almost fear each other, because of course it's very natural to fear what you don't know. You don't know this tribe. Oh, there's the Maasai there, then there's another tribe, and so it was very easy for the Westerners to make us fight each other, because we are very diverse. So we need to find a way in using that same diversity at our advantage this time around. Because it's the same thing that was used to divide us. People in Manicaland, they are the Ndau people. The Ndau people are there in Mutare. They are also there in Mozambique. They are actually speaking the same language. And some of these borders, they actually went between villages.
Yeah.
And so it's very important that we find a way of using that diversity, and just ensuring that how best now what's your opinion on that? How do we make our diversity work in our favor?
I think one of the things that we need to realize is the importance of language. Language is one of the most powerful things to colonize a person. And I have to mention one particular country. You've got a country huge like Tanzania. They've got a population of nearly 70 million, and they've got 121 languages. But here is a funny fact and a very special thing. Any part of Tanzania you are, any part, be it in town, be it anywhere, you are able to speak with somebody from a different tribe using Swahili. Mind you, this is not their mother tongue. It's a Swahili, and Swahili is a language that was brought by Arabs, that was brought by Germans and Native African speakers. But majority of people who are now identified as Swahili people are the people who were in contact with these Arabs, with the Indians. So now they identify. You had a lot of people coming from the mainland Africa going to the coast and now they ended up establishing. But for them to communicate with these other people, that's how Swahili language was born. And Tanzania adopted the language. They did that very well. And in Tanzania, as much as they've got their different languages, nobody forces you. But I'm a Maasai. You have to know my Maasai language when they are Konyama. A Konyama doesn't need to learn Maasai. They only need to learn Kiswahili. And if you look at the Swahili language, it's 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 it has got a lot of Bantu languages that cuts across through all of these tribes. I will take it back to Zimbabwe. We have got the very same crisis whereby a simple thing like language is easy to divide us, right? And yet, what people do not understand, in the absence of one local language that we all speak and understand, we now have to learn English. We now have to learn foreign languages. And by doing so, we are giving ourselves away to the English native speakers, which is why you go today, you meet somebody from France, they don't care about speaking English because they understand. French is from French. This is my identity. So, whichever way, as a country, as Zimbabwe, as Southern Africa, we have to decide. This is a crucial thing. Let's all learn one languages. That one language that we're going to use for business, for this, for this, for this, for this. And we forget about saying, no, my language is with the biggest number of native speakers. It doesn't work. It doesn't benefit us. And that way, we can talk about anything, more things that needs to be done. But if ever there is any country where tribalism has got no place, it's Tanzania. You go to Tanzania,
Okay. Wow, wow, that's really amazing. You say that because I know in Tanzania they are not very fond of English. I think I once heard someone saying they teach English at high school, you know?
it's not, it's not their favorite cup of tea.
Wow. And I think that's also why Tanzania has been successful because there's a lot of food that comes from Tanzania, right? They are farming a
Yes.
lot. And,
Yes.
and, and like you've said, in English, the way that we use English, we are giving ourselves away to colonialists. They can easily study our next move. They can easily, you know, like sabotage us because everything is written in English, everything is done in English. We even have the best English speaker competition. And what is the point of that, honestly? Some you find some schools in the capital city there where you are, they are very proud that their children are speaking like the queen. And yeah, and I think that's like you have nailed the nail with the hammer there when you said language. We're talking of diversity, how to unite, and you said it's language. That's what needs to happen. So this is from grassroots. It can be Swahili, right? It can be something that is Bantu. But
100%. I mean, Swahili, it will also give us access to majority of the countries in East Africa. Like there's DRC, you've got the northeast of Zambia, the northern part of Mozambique, the northern part of Malawi, and you've got Tanzania, you've got Burundi, you've got Rwanda, you've got parts of Uganda, you've got Kenya, you've got parts of Ethiopia, parts of Somalia, you've got parts of South Sudan. So it's easier for us to trade while we speak a common language and all of that. Because honestly, when Africans meet in a room, it's always about accents, and we are so quick to laugh at each other. Ah, you've got a Nigerian accent. That's a Ugandan. That's a Zambian. You say fat. You say fat. That's wrong. So in that way, some people will feel like, I'm not good enough. I'm inferior, so it's easy for me to leave this discussion. But if it's a language that is African, that really doesn't have 100% native speaker, we can all agree. And besides, this very same language, it has got almost like Swahili has got almost 70% of the words which are found in Bantu languages. If this word is not found in Shona, it's in Tonga. If it's not in Tonga, it's in Bemba. If not, it's in Kalanga. If not, then it's a borrowed word from Arab, or it's from a borrowed word from German language, or it's a borrowed word from Portuguese. But none other than that. These are ways that we apply in our daily lives.
Wow, wow. So the next question is brand partnerships. We've seen a lot of branding, the government of Zimbabwe supporting anybody who raises the flag high. We've seen, I think you've had a few bicycle manufacturers that sponsored you. I don't know if I'm correct, or it was the Zimbabwean government. Are you sort of looking for brand ambassadors to contact you and get in touch with you? Maybe the tourism board, have they been in touch with you already? National parks, is it something that you are looking forward to?
Yeah, it's something that we are looking for, and it will be really great because we are we love things that really align with what we are doing, like the tourism board. You mentioned bicycle brands. Unfortunately, we tried reaching to a number of the brands, but nobody responded. The bikes that we're using were bought by um, the Zimbabwean tourism deputy minister. But in a nutshell, working with brand will be such an amazing thing because there's so much to gain when people are really united and when there is big corporate. But unfortunately, we are the pioneers of bicycle traveling in Zimbabwe and at large across Africa. Not a lot of people understand the nature of our travel, particularly where we come from. We strongly believe if we were in the Western world, it was going to be something that was going to be understood very quickly. But we are so happy that we are the pioneers and people are really getting hooked to it, which is a beautiful thing. And we believe that in the next 5 years, we might get Zimbabwe to be on a place where Netherlands is, where everybody sees cycling as a way of life.
So what I did on behalf of you guys, whilst you were still traveling, is that I contacted a charity. This is a charity called is it Cycle Africa, Cycles for Africa. I contacted a lady who is running that charity in the UK. What they do is they send bicycles in a container to African countries. So they were not dealing with Zimbabwe at the time. They were not dealing with Zimbabwe at the time, and a lot of discarded bicycles, because in the UK you find a very good bicycle is just thrown away. Very, maybe just needs fixing. There's a culture of not repairing anything because it's cheaper to buy a new one. usually in this culture. So what they do is they send containers, 40-foot containers of bicycles to Africa. So I got in touch with her and I've asked her to consider rural Zimbabwe as well, because it's a charity initiative whereby they would say give the bicycle to a rural group, a rural community, for them to use the bicycles. So I'm hoping. So what she said was that to get in touch with them again next year, and they are going to consider putting Zimbabwe on the map, and obviously I would want you guys to run that program, as well once it gets through. Yeah. So yep. So any sort of like anything you want to let us know before we close? Anything you'd want to say about the journey, about African unity, or actually entrepreneurship? We touched a little bit on it when you said the people are selling in the streets. What are Africans lazy as we hear in the media that they are just waiting for handouts, or is there entrepreneurship happening in other countries?
Oh yeah, there is a lot of entrepreneurship happening. I would say, for example, in Tanzania, there's a lot of entrepreneurship in Tanzania. You've got Nigeria, there is. You've got Uganda, there is. And one thing that I love about this whole entrepreneurship, they sell their farm produce to the markets, and the most beautiful thing is the kind of entrepreneurship. As much as it says no, it doesn't graduate into big corporates or giant wholesales and stuff like that. But it causes money to circulate and it's sustainable for every single person, which is beautiful. But yet again, I would definitely advise people to travel because I believe Africa has got so much to offer if we've got so much Africans traveling across Africa. There's so much products that people in West Africa needs that we take for granted.
Really?
For example,
Can you give
milk.
me an example? Because there is something called the African Free Trade that has recently been, established, but it's something which is coming up. So, what does West Africa need from Southern Africa? What did you see a lack of, in different countries? What sort of goods did you see that are needed?
There's a lot. We've got milk. Milk. They don't have milk in West Africa. They're importing their milk from Argentina. They don't have meat. They're importing their meat. They don't have uh, a lot of things. I just mentioned only a few, but they in West Africa, I mean, these are countries that are rich in oil, so their economies are oil based, they are gold based, so they don't do a lot of animals and stuff like that. So I realize in Southern Africa and East Africa we are good. And again, they've got cocoa beans, but yet they don't sell chocolates. If we could have a balance, but again, this also comes down to there's not even a direct route or a concrete solid route from West Africa to Southern Africa, from West Africa to East Africa. So somehow, in that case where there's not a straight route, there is, however, a straight route from West Africa to Europe, then Europe back to East Africa. So
So
that is where.
basically, I know that West Africa doesn't have fresh fruits as well. Am I correct? Like fresh fruits, and it's something which is very new to them to have, like mango, banana, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
as if they are not growing
But
much.
they do have mangoes and bananas and um, coconuts, but then you've got your daily vegetables that you consume on daily basis. Those they don't have. If you get them, they are imported and are very expensive.
Wow, wow, wow. And that's a business opportunity now for somebody in Southern Africa. You know, we have a lot of goats, meat, like you're saying, meat, and they need meat. And yet we were taught, or we were actually trained to trade out our items. We are feeding the Europe at the moment. We are busy feeding Westerners, and yet our own people need our food.
Yeah,
Angola, for example, I know DRC. I've heard that DRC need a lot of food.
yeah,
I
true.
was saying that maize, is it maize? And I wonder how does that work? We can literally feed each other. You know, we
Very
can, those billions that they spend importing something from Europe. Why don't presidents just sit in one room and say, you give me, you know, you give me oil, I'll be giving you maize. I really don't understand how, you know, how it works, but it's a system. It's a system that has been made, and we actually have gatekeepers, like you're saying, that are Western trained, Western educated gatekeepers who even look black. They're even black people, but they're the very same people sitting in governments, ensuring that, you know, a Congolese, a truck does not go to Congo.
Yeah.
You know, ensuring that they'll give all kinds of excuses that are whatever excuse and they are black. They'd rather a truck goes to China, you know, because their mind is always foreign direct investment, not knowing that the Congo are very rich, you know. They actually have a lot of budget for these items. They are also paying, but
Yeah.
yeah,
it's always, you know, the Chinese deals, the whatever, trying to look good while they sell our minerals. You know, they're selling our minerals, and then together with that, they give that person with the food on top of it. So
Yeah.
it's interesting how Africa works, but I'm really happy. I'm really happy to know that, because personally I want to start. I want to visit Tanzania. I know there's a lot of things I want to import, especially dried food, fruits from
Yeah.
Tanzania. And I wonder if there's a bus from Tanzania that goes to Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
there is. I think there's about three companies. There's a bus from Harare to Uganda and Tanzania and Kenya.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Wow. Okay, oh, that's good. I'm gonna probably ask you for the names of those bus companies, because I'm going to be one of the first Africans, you know, whether it's posh or not. I'm going to be the first Africans who are buying things from a fellow African country, putting it on a bus, bringing it over, and rather than using this Amazon or whatever it is they call it, making Jeff Bezos more of a trillionaire or whatever it is, how many trillions he has. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. So thank you so much for your time, Vusumusi and Thando. I really appreciate you putting in the time for this interview. Is there any sort of words you'd like to say before we close the broadcast?
I would definitely say, let's be patriotic Africans. Let's be proud of our continent. And again, we need to take care of our continent. For me, the greatest human development ever that could ever happen to our countries or our cities is making sure that our cities are clean. For me, I don't care about beautiful infrastructure, but if a city is clean, if our village is clean, our small town is clean, that's the most civilized city ever for me.
Yeah. And also, let's normalize traveling within our continent, which is Africa. Is so beautiful. And I know a lot of people, when they think of vacation, or when they think of honeymoon, they just go to Europe, Maldives, Dubai, all those countries. But forgetting that in Africa, we have got Maldives in Africa. We have got that Dubai in Africa. Africa is literally beautiful. We have seen it all in all those 22 countries. We have seen it, we have experienced it, we have lived it. So let us normalize traveling within our continent as Africans to learn and understand about a lot.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Vusu and Thando, for your time. And keep on tuned in to more podcasts to come. Thank you very much. Thank you. Asante
Thank
sana.
Zikomo phambili.
Ralebuka.